To try and make the world in some way better than you found it is to have a noble motive in life. A. Carnegie, The Empire of Business. Andrew Carnegie, who lived from 1835 to 1919, was among the wealthiest and most famous industrialists of his day. In this video, we will tell you about Carnegie's three-legged stool. Before starting the video, please subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon so you would get notified when we upload the next video. Number 5. The three-legged stool of capital, labor, and management. According to Andrew Carnegie, System, the magazine of business, July 1915, we shall one day all recognize capital, labor, and business ability as a three-legged stool, each necessary for the other, neither first, second, nor third in rank, all equal. All my earnings were from manufacturing. If it were necessary for me to return to that calling, I should not consider the problem of labor as at all difficult. On the contrary, I enjoyed conferences with our men. We have one rule. Come what may, we would never think of running our works with new men. Able, sober, well-behaved workmen, such as ours were, are not to be picked up on the streets, and we wished for no others. We were very particular in regard to drinking. First offense, men were excluded 30 days. Second offense, 60 days. Third offense, we parted company. Number 4. Boss your boss. Always break orders to save the owners of the business. There never was a great character who did not sometimes smash the routine regulations and make new ones for himself. Do not hesitate to do it. Break the rules whenever you are sure the interests of your employer will be thereby promoted, and when you are so sure of the result that you are willing to take the responsibility. You will never be a partner unless you know the business of your department far better than the owners possibly can. When called to account for your independent action, show him the result of your genius and tell him that you knew it would be so. Show him how mistaken the orders were. Boss your boss just as soon as you can and try it on early. This is no rule for you to follow. Always break orders to save owners. There never was a great character who did not sometimes smash the routine regulations and make new ones for himself. The rule is only suitable for such as have no aspirations, and you have not forgotten that you are destined to be owners and to make orders and break orders. Do not hesitate to do it whenever you are sure the interests of your employer will be thereby promoted, and when you are so sure of the result that you are willing to take the responsibility. You will never be a partner unless you know the business of your department far better than the owners possibly can. When called to account for your independent action, show him the result of your genius and tell him that you knew it would be so. Show him how mistaken the orders were. Boss your boss just as soon as you can. Try it on early. There is nothing he will like so well if he is the right kind of boss. If he is not the man for you to remain with. Leave him whenever you can, even at a present sacrifice, and find one capable of discerning genius. Number 3. The counterfeit business. All pure coins have their counterfeit. The counterfeit of business is speculation. A man in business always gives value in return for his revenue and thus performs a useful function. His services are necessary and benefit the community. He labors steadily in developing the resources of the country and thus contributes to the advancement of the race. This is the genuine coin. Speculation, on the contrary, is a parasite fastened upon the labor of businessmen. It creates nothing and supplies no want. When the speculator wins, he takes all the money without rendering service or giving value. Therefore, when he loses, his fellow speculator takes the money from him. It is a pure gambling operation between them, degrading to both. You can never be an honest man of business and a speculator. The modes and aims of the one career are fatal to the other. Number 2. The businessman owes society a debt. A man's first duty is to make a competence and be independent. But his whole duty does not end there. It is his duty to do something for his needy neighbors who are less favored than himself. It is his duty to contribute to the general good of the community in which he lives. He has been protected by its laws. Because he has been protected in his various enterprises, he has been able to make money sufficient for his needs and those of his family. All beyond this belongs in justice to the protecting power that has fostered him and enabled him to win pecuniary success. To try to make the world in some way better than you found it is to have a noble motive in life. Your surplus wealth should continue to the development of your own character and place you in the ranks of nature's noblemen. Number 1. The three-legged stool of business success. The three legs of a stable stool of business success are strategy, customer satisfaction, and employee engagement. Just as the legs of a stool are most stable and dependable when they are of equal length, these three elements are of equal importance for sustained success and stability in business. Let's unpack each of these legs. Strategy. If you own or manage a business, you know your strategy and your team knows this as well. After all, that's what everybody is focused on as they show up for work every day, right? Well, not necessarily. I had a client that was a family-owned, closely held corporation. They had been very successful for several generations and held a dominant place in their industry. The current CEO had a clear picture of the company's strategy, yet for some reason, he reached out to me because he feared the company might fail on his watch. Imagine being the head of a national company with family members in most of the senior leadership and many key management positions. The company has been a success for roughly 125 years. You think everybody knows your strategy and works every day to execute on that strategy. But something in your gut tells you this may not be true. Your doubt is keeping you awake at night. Compounding your worries is an anticipation that you may need to make significant changes to continue to be competitive. You know that a viable and sustainable business must adjust as markets and technology changes. Doing what you did for the past century plus is not working as well as it used to, and you need to keep figuring out where to go from here. Customer satisfaction. Without a unified strategy that defines what you do for your customers, it's difficult to know what to do to assure that you maintain customer satisfaction. Your business may have identified key performance indicators, KPIs, to measure customer satisfaction, but are you asking the right questions? Are you addressing what matters to your customers? If your leadership team isn't working from the same strategy, is it likely that you are looking at the right stuff to know? It's possible to be asking a lot of questions, measuring KPIs, and have no idea what keeping customers requires. Keeping customers is a significant element of customer satisfaction. Satisfied just means the customer isn't actively looking to replace you. Satisfied can be an easy win for your competitor, especially if they are clear on their company's strategy. When the competition communicates a clear message to the customer, your customer, satisfied, may be replaced with, "I want what they are offering." All of your people need to know your strategy and buy into that strategy. This provides a base fix for your employees to create excited customers. The good news is, excited customers are generally loyal customers. Employee engagement. Well, this one is actually pretty simple. If you create a culture where your leadership team communicates a clear strategy, one that they buy into, the team will have a lot fewer why questions. The team will find it much easier to know what to contribute and what they need to communicate to your customers. Employee engagement is tough to have when your employees look at the senior leaders and see that they are not working to execute on the same strategy. It's often easier for frontline workers to see that KPIs are not measuring stuff that really matters to customers, and that bosses don't have a unified strategy because your employees are trying to make the connection between you and the customers. Once employees discover a lack of strategic focus, they tend to disengage. To build an engaged, high-performance team, start with doing the work to assure that the leadership shares one strategy, and that they all buy into that strategy. If it's the right strategy and someone on the senior team can't buy in, they may be working at the wrong place. Once you have a clear strategy, align your KPIs and customer satisfaction standards to that strategy. Finally, communicate with your people so that they are clear on the strategy, their role and responsibilities, and how the strategy is being measured, KPI. Remember that communication is two ways, so be sure to have a plan to listen to your employees so that you are able to benefit from frontline feedback for future adjustments to your strategy. This is simple, but it is hard work. Once you build the stool, you will need to maintain it so that you don't drift off and lose focus. Do let us know in the comments if you'd like to know more about this theory. Thanks for watching.